Now we'll move to another portion now. How to listen to the Word of God. How to listen to the Word of God. First we will, your own understanding of what is the difference between listening and hearing. Can you write two differences you yourself can think of? Difference between listening and hearing. Hearing, the word I use, merely hearing, listening deeply. That is difference between those two words. Do you usually hear or listen? Both. In Bible reading or messages, you hear or listen? Listen. Now comes the problem. By your own definition, you are defeated. Something happens after that, you said nothing happens. How many things you can listen at a time? Many things? Or one thing? Can you hear the fan now? Are you listening to me or? Yes. Hearing is only a physiological process. Sound waves, when it falls on the drum, you hear it. Whether you want it or not, you will hear it. Listening is active involvement. When you listen, you do a few things. Listening is faster than speaking. When I speak, your listening is much faster than my speaking. By speaking, listening is faster because you begin to process inside, you even summarize it inside, you are ready for next one, what is going to tell, and you will make a comment, this is third time is repeating. So many things will happen within if you are listening. And that kind of listening leads to changes. This is one of the reasons the Lord will draw attention frequently. Those who have ears, let them hear. Means, it doesn't mean that some people came without ears. Those who use their ears to listen. Because many will not be using their ears. So pay attention. That is where the need to be present. We will come to that. Because you cannot listen to many things. That equipment which is sitting in front of you called mobile can draw your attention frequently to that. Light will come. It may be in vibration mode, or sometimes it may be silent mode, the light will flicker, your attention will be there. You cannot listen to two things at a time. So in your mind you have to prepare how to avoid all kinds of distractions. To listen, how do we prepare? 1 Corinthians chapter 1, verse 19 to 21. Next person. You are reading. 1 Corinthians 1, 19 to 21.
For it is written, I will destroy the wisdom of the wise, the intelligence of the intelligent I will frustrate. Where is the wise man? Where is the scholar? Where is the philosopher of this age? Has not God made foolish the wisdom of the world? 'For since in the wisdom of God, the world was made foolish, the wisdom of God was also made foolish. 'For since in the wisdom of the world, the wisdom of God was made foolish. 'For since in the wisdom of God, the wisdom of God was made foolish. 'For since in the wisdom of the world, the wisdom of God was made foolish. 'For since in the wisdom of the world, the wisdom of God was made foolish. 'For since in the wisdom of the world, the wisdom of God was made foolish. 'For since in the wisdom of the world, the wisdom of God was made foolish. 'For since in the wisdom of the world, the wisdom of God was made foolish. 'For since in the wisdom of the world, the wisdom of God was made foolish. 'For since in the wisdom of the world, the wisdom of God was made foolish. 'For since in the wisdom of the world, the wisdom of God was made foolish. 'For since in the wisdom of the world, the wisdom of God was made foolish. 'For since in the wisdom of the wor through its wisdom did not know him. God was pleased through the foolishness of what was preached to save those who believe.
You can read from 3rd chapter 18 to 20.
Do not deceive yourself. If any of you thinks he is wise by the standards of his age, he should become a fool so that he may become wise. For the wisdom of this world is foolishness in God's sight. As it is written, he catches the wise in their craftiness. And again, the Lord knows the thoughts of the wise are futile. So that no more boasting about men.
Put them together. What do you gather? Can you write two things? This is what I understand from these two passages, essentially. In the first reference, verse 21, you look at it. 1 Corinthians 1:21. What did he gather?
What was preached?
So God knew something. He knew that the world will not know God through its wisdom. So he says, he catches the wise in their wisdom. Where is the philosopher? Where is the learned man in this world? All these people did not know me. So God knew something. The world will not know God through its wisdom. So in the 3rd chapter, Paul writes, through the Spirit, to know God, something has to happen. You have to become a fool. Means what? In that context, fool means, how do you understand the word fool? What are we trying to do? Yes. It's not fool means I don't have any knowledge. That's not the thing. I cannot use my knowledge and understanding. Accept my helplessness in this matter. I am helpless in this matter to know God. Using my wisdom, I cannot know, because the reason we are coming to, God knew that the world through its wisdom will not know God. Why? Chapter 2, verse 8. 1 Corinthians chapter 2, verse 8.
Which none of the princes of this world knew, for had they known it, they would not have crucified the Lord.
Remember of Jesus Christ in that day was in the midst of Bible scholars, wise people, and he performed miracles and even claimed very clearly, I am the Son of God. Did those people believe? Did they believe? Why? They were like people, all of us, like this group. He was in their midst. He performed miracles, which nobody else performed, and said, I am the Son of God. But they didn't believe. Why? Why they didn't believe? 9th verse. 1 Corinthians 2:9. Next verse.
For whoever has been given, no eye has seen, no ear has heard, no mind has conceived what God has prepared for those who learn.
God has prepared or sent Jesus Christ. The wise people of this world did not know what God has prepared. Their eyes did not understand, see it, their ears did not hear it, their mind did not conceive. Or put it in a different way, The realities of God are beyond human mind. Beyond human mind. You can read from book of Isaiah, chapter 55, verse 8 and 9.
My thoughts are not your thoughts, neither are your ways my ways, declares the Lord. As the heavens are higher than the earth, so are my ways higher than yours, and my thoughts than your thoughts.
You know the distance between earth and heaven. Is it measurable? That's his comparison he uses. My thoughts, your thoughts. My ways, your ways. Can I ever know it? Can I ever know it? These are the things sometimes we say, I can understand. I understand. How do you understand? It's beyond. Can you read from Romans 11, 33? Romans 11, 33.
Oh, how great are God's riches and wisdom and knowledge, how impossible it is for us to understand His decisions and His ways.
How?
Impossible it is for us to understand His decisions and His ways.
Another translation.
Depth of the riches of wisdom and knowledge of God. How unsearchable His judgments and His paths beyond tracing.
Unsearchable, unfathomable. Unsearchable, unfathomable. The Malaysian Airlines has not yet been found in the sea. Unsearchable. The thoughts of God, the realities of God are beyond any human mind. Beyond any human mind. Now, can you see all the pictures in this room? Pictures in the room here. Mr. Modi going for a walk. The cricket match is going on. Can you see that picture? Pictures of flood in Chennai. You thought I am fooling you. Okay, leave that picture. Can you hear the music here? Can you hear it? பாட்டு கேக்குதா? இல்ல. நான் பாடுறது இல்ல. But when you keep a TV here, you see the picture and you hear the music. Where was it? Where was it? All around you as electromagnetic waves. Is it there or not? Yes. Now you say it is there. It is not there, you said. Can you hear that? If you use your ear. Can you see that with your eye? The frequency is different from your perceptible frequency. The decibel is different from what you can hear. That frequency is different. Whatever attempt you make, you cannot hear. You need a tube to convert electromagnetic waves into light waves. The realities of God are beyond human mind. That doesn't mean it is not there. But the problem with the rational mind What is not rational is foolishness. Yes? This puny little mind, if it is not within this mind, we say it's all foolishness. That is our wisdom. Then God looks at that wisdom and say, I will catch you in your own wisdom. I'll frustrate your wisdom philosophy. That means don't think too much of yourself. I put little bit of ability in you. Now with that ability you are saying I am not existing. What a thing. I don't know whether you have seen that God is dead. That professor will be fighting with a student who is saying that God is alive. Finally, at one point, says, the professor will say, I hate God. You hate God. Why you hate God if He doesn't exist? Why you hate God if He doesn't exist? Professor is, what? I think we need to accept our limit. Our limit. Our limit, I will give you one example. Can you multiply 757 by 347 in your mind and give the answer? Finished. Maximum 20 multiplication table. Beyond that, you have to call Sarada Devi. No, you cannot. Limited. First thing to accept is my understanding is limited. My rational mind is limited. But the realities of God are beyond my rational mind. Now, how does God communicate to this rational mind? Can you read from the 10th verse of 2nd chapter, 1 Corinthians 2:10?
And God has revealed them to us by the Spirit. For the Spirit searches everything, even the deep things of God.
The word now is revealed. Spirit of God reveals what is beyond my mind. Do you know what is happening in our mind now? Husband and wife, no? Why you can't know? You can imagine, but you may not know. Quite often we go with imagination and conclude that it is what is going through their mind, and then finally find out it's nothing to do with that. How will you know what is in our mind?
And when she says or speaks, if she expresses,
Only when she reveals. Only when she reveals you will know. How do we know what is in the mind of God? 11th verse.
For who knows a person's thoughts except the spirit of that person which is in him? So also no one comprehends the thoughts of God except the Spirit of God.
How do you know your own thought?
Through my spirit.
That's very easy to tell. But scientists are breaking their head. How do I know my thought? So far they don't know. But Bible says, the Spirit in you knows your thought. Same way, how do I know the thought of another person? When only He reveals. How do you know the thought of God? Only when the Spirit of God reveals. When only the Spirit of God reveals. Now comes another problem. 14th verse.
A person without the Spirit does not accept the things that come from the Spirit of God, but considers them foolishness and cannot understand them because they are discerned only through the Spirit.
Who is that person? Begin. How does it begin?
The person without the Spirit.
Spirit. What does it? Your translation says? 14th verse. Another translation? Natural man. Another translation? 14th verse of 2nd chapter. Anything different than natural man? Pardon? Only have physical life? Man without the Spirit. Pragrita Manishan. Janma Swabhavamana Manidan. Means one who is not born again. One who is not born again, that person will have difficulty in anything with the Bible. For example, somebody, I tell you, yesterday I saw a man walking on the sea. Will you believe it? No. When you read Bible, Jesus Christ walked on the water, will you believe it? Will you believe it, or okay, it is written, so what to do? He told Peter, walk. Will you walk? Was the sea divided? Do you believe it? Will it divide for you? That comes to belief, no. Reading some facts in the Bible and trying to accept is not believing.
Is it trying to accept only? Trying to accept what we need.
Accept means, okay, it is written, so I will agree with that. I don't want to fight with that. There are people who will take up the fight and say, it's all mythology, we must remove it from Bible. Demythologization of Bible. Then they write new Bible. It's very difficult. Rational mind. Your children will come and ask, were we created or evolved? What answer you will give? Yes. What? Papa, you have not read any of these books. You are all living in the old times. What answer you are going to give? Have they started asking already? No. It will come soon. Most of the Western countries have rejected these things. By government rule, you cannot teach them in the school now. You can teach any other rubbish. Because it is beyond rational mind. Bring something reasonable. So many thousands of billions years ago, sometime exploded. Yeah, we will believe it. Because somebody said nobody can prove it. Now it is revealed, a man without the Spirit cannot understand these things. To him it is foolishness. How will we know what is revealed? That's a question that we are going to raise. Revelation, can you produce it or it has to be given to you? It can be only be received. You cannot produce revelation. Is it agreed? How will you receive? How will you receive? When will you receive? Simple question. When will you receive? No, when it is given. So, who has to give revelation? Spirit of God. Okay. Who decides it? Spirit is. God decides. To whom it will be revealed? Who decides? God decides. How it will be revealed? Who decides? When it will be revealed? Who decides? Then what can you do? So first thing is wait. How to wait? With? What do you expect? Eh? What do you expect? What revelation? You don't know what he will reveal, then what do you expect?
No expectation.
Eh? That is where it is needed. What mind? Open mind. Open mind. We'll come to that why it is open mind.
Saying wait without expectation with an open mind.
No. Wait, one more word I want to. How long will you wait?
Until God reveals.
So what do you need? Okay. Wait patiently. Do you have the second word? Do you practice the second word? Are you in the habit of telling God, Lord, I have only 10 minutes in the morning, I am very busy. If you are revealing, reveal quickly, otherwise, I will reveal myself. And go around and tell what God spoke to me clearly this morning. Eh? Whatever you understand, if you say God spoke to you, Two days back, one person was speaking to me. Every single word he says, God spoke to me. Single sentence. Alternate sentence, he will say, God spoke to me, God spoke to me. I asked, what do you do with so much God speaking? What you understand, don't say that it is spoken by God. You, who is reading 23rd chapter of Jeremiah, verse 16, 23, 16. They speak a vision of their own imagination, not from the mouth of the Lord. 25 and 26.
I have heard what prophets say, who prophesy regarding my name. They say, I had a dream, I had a dream.
26.
How long will this continue in the heart of those like prophet, who prophesy the dreams of their own?
30. Next person, 30 and 31.
Therefore, says the Lord, I am against these prophets who steal messages from each other and claim they are from me. I am against these moved-up prophets who say,
This prophecy is from the Lord.
Yes. Be careful when you say, God spoke to me. Be careful. It will be very proper to say, this is how I understand. This is how I realize. This may be my intuition, rather than saying, God spoke to me. As I understand from Bible, whenever people have heard God, one thing that happened is they fell down before God. Trembling came. One of the prophets ran away from God's presence for fear, Jonah. Nobody stood there and did what they wanted. They,
People with the gift of prophecy is always Spirit's gift. So that would be a prophecy which they
you
would
need to distinguish the true prophets and the false prophets. Because today also there are many false prophets. True prophets. How do you recognize the prophets? The Lord said, through their fruit, not through their gift. Watch their life, you will understand. Another proof God says, if all the details of the prophecy are fulfilled, then you will know it has been from the prophet, from God. See, 10 things they say, one thing happens, it is not. That anybody can tell. All the details of the prophecy, if it is fulfilled. That's a difference between prophecy about Jesus Christ. There are 20 or 200 details, all the 200 details are fulfilled. Yes. It's very important for us not to use this phrase, because once you use this phrase, God spoke to me, you are putting others under compulsion to listen to you, and sometimes you are putting yourself under compulsion to do that, which may not be from God. Beware of it. Okay. First is wait patiently. Second is be present. Why be present? Can you read from Mark's Gospel 13:35?
You too must keep watch, for you don't know when the master of the household will return, in the evening, at midnight, before dawn, or at daybreak.
The night is divided into 4 watches, 3 hours gap. So whatever time he comes, if you are ready. Luke's Gospel 12:37, Luke 12:37.
Blessed are those slaves whom the master will find on the alert when he comes. Truly I say to you that he will gird himself to serve and have them recline at the table and will come up and wait on them.
Blessed are those
Slaves whom the master will find on the alert.
Yes. So, can he meet us any time of the day or night? Or you put God in time slots, come and meet me only at 6 o'clock in the morning. You give appointment for God? Are you available to listen to Him at any time? Are you available? You should be. Are you? Can He meet you in the midnight? What time God met Samuel? Little boy Samuel. Late in the night. Late in the night. Did he hear? He heard. The high priest was sleeping in the other room. Did he hear? He didn't. Why? He was not prepared. He was not prepared. All of us sleep in a room. You want to go to the airport at 3 o'clock in the morning. You keep alarm. Who will hear? Only hear. You won't hear. Why? Yes. Are you prepared? Are you prepared? So be present at any time. Suppose today your house, the manager of the Maruti company came to give you a key of a car free for you. Next day you heard that he came but you are not there, that offer is over. I wish I were there. I wish I were there. How many times you would have missed when he came?
This means that we are available when people are doing ministry or something like being available for God's work. In that sense, we're great being present. How do you relate?
Suppose you are waiting for a phone call, important phone call. While you are working, while you are driving, are you ready for that? Ring, oh, that may be the call. No, that's not the call. After some, that may be the call. Are you ready? Oh, how are you? Whatever work you are doing, you are ready for that. No, you need not be in ministry for that.
But how do you differentiate? I will say there may be, this is a struggle I am going through. I mean,
Pardon?
this is a struggle I am going through. Like,
Yeah.
so many ministries, so many works of God people are calling to do or asking us to help. So how do you differentiate?
That is what we are coming to it. First, be present. Third, be open. What is being open? Read from, who is reading next one? Matthew chapter 16, verse 6 and 7.
Be careful, Jesus said to them. Be on your guard against the yeast of the Pharisees and Sadducees. They discussed this among themselves and said, "It is because we didn't bring any bread."
What did the Lord say?
Be careful, be on guard against
Against what?
the yeast of the Pharisees.
What did the disciples interpret it as?
The bread.
Was the interpretation right or wrong? 12th verse, you read 12th verse.
Then they understood that he was not telling them to guard against the yeast used in bread, but against the teaching of the Pharisees and the Sadducees.
Why did they misinterpret?
So they were hungry.
5th verse, you read.
When they went across the lake, the disciples forgot to take bread.
Why is it written? A small detail in the big gospel, they forgot to take bread. Why that small detail is written?
Their fault.
5 explains 7. What's the connection between 5 and 7?
They discussed this among themselves and said, "It is because we didn't bring any bread."
What's the connection between 5 and 7?
He's saying,
They remember that is good. They
Then-
No.
realize that it's good.
Therefore, they are thinking,
Pardon? Yeah, 5 and 7. What is the teaching for us? What is the warning for us from 5 and 7?
They are thinking of themselves, their interpretation.
they thought that
Why they interpreted it like that?
since to us they thought that Jesus is holding them by referring to the when we guarded against the yeast of the Pharisees. So it is
Very simple, brother.
they didn't understand.
Now you want to go somewhere, you have a doubt whether you to go or not. You turn the Bible, go on seeing, you see the word, go. God has spoken to me, go. Why you got the word?
Because I want to go.
If you didn't want to go, you will look for the word. Don't go. Ah, God has spoken now. Don't go. Is that a right way of interpreting? Why that interpretation came?
Because you are prepared for your mind is
They were thinking of bread and talking with them about the bread, and then they hear the word yeast. Hey, this is what you are speaking. Tamil, you have அரண்டவன் கண்ணுக்கு இருண்டதெல்லாம் பேய். മലയാളത്തിൽ പറയും ഒരുത്തനെ തന്നെ നനച്ചിരുന്നാൽ വരുന്നതെല്ലാം അവനെന്ന് തോന്നും. I went for a church service. They called me to preach in place called Palani. You know Palani? Yes. I had to go from Ottanchitram to Palani. And the word by the pastor there, I will send someone to receive you at the bus stand. I was wearing a saffron jibba at that time and having a shoulder bag. I went there. கோவிலுக்கு போகணுமா? One person came. Yes, yes, pastor said the person. I went with him. After some time only I realized they are going to shave off my hair. Palani temple. But I was thinking about Koil, and he also said Koil. I went off with him. I escaped from there. Escaped from there. So, if you are also thinking of something, whether to marry this person or not, and the name comes in Bible means, you will say, God is clearly guiding me. அப்படிதான் கல்யாணம் பண்ணிக்கலாம். Yes.
A lot of decisions happen also around the circumstances.
No, that's not complete.
I agree it's not complete, but I'm saying that is also a factor in deciding.
No, major things have to happen. That's what you are studying. If you take only circumstance, you will create circumstance.
I'm saying circumstances that you wouldn't, that are not controlled by you.
You will see that anywhere, brother. That's a problem. In over years, what I have seen from people, they immediately see that and create a circumstance.
It has to be from God.
There couldn't be circumstance ordained by God for you to think it.
You have seen some this what you call tiles in the wall. A picture which nobody sees, you will see that in that picture. Nobody else can see that picture, but you will see that. How? That's what you want to see. That's what you want to see. That is why everything has to be included. We'll come to one by one. Open mind means, Lord, at this time through your word, what are you communicating? For that you need to keep your prejudices, your preferences, your preconceived ideas away from you. What are the words? Will you remember these things? Prejudices. That is same thing. My preferences, my preconceived idea, my past experiences. Your past experience will continuously. One person got 1 rupee coin on the road one day. After that, whenever he walks, he looks down and walks on. I may get another coin. I think many of you experience it. So, you need to be open. Lord, at this time, what are you communicating? At home, you had an experience with some people. After that, you brand them like that. You will never say, you will never become right. Or, what good will come from Nazareth? Finished. That means I am not with one another also. One another. Husband and wife. Oh, ഇവൾ എപ്പോഴും ഇങ്ങനെ. He is always like that. Finished. You cannot be open. Be open. Because sometimes nice words will come from the other person also. Not only always she is saying. Third is willing. Fourth, willingness to obey. The rich young ruler with such earnestness came and asked, "What should I do to inherit eternal life?" Did he ask? Did Jesus Christ tell what to do? Did he obey? Then why did he ask?
An answer which he wants.
This is the same problem. We will ask for guidance, he will guide us, and he will never obey. Few times after that, if it is your habit, what will happen after some time? God will not communicate to you. Will you do that? എന്ത് ചെയ്യണം? What should I do? You tell him, do that. He doesn't do. Next time, all right. God doesn't say. Your difficulty to understand will increase. Hardness will happen in your heart. Continued disobedience will produce hardness of heart. Continued disobedience will produce hardness of heart. He may be teaching, but you will not. So, if there is no willingness, you may not even hear. When you are young, mother called you for some work. You are watching the TV. In the evening, you will go and ask, "Mummy, did you call me in the morning?" Why? You didn't hear at all? If I hear, there will be work, so you don't hear at all. Is that the attitude with God also? Again that produces hardness. So unless you are willing, you cannot listen. If you come to God, "Lord, don't tell that, please. Don't tell this. But what do you want?" Some children come to hospital with few demands with parents. No injection, no surgery, no bitter medicine. Then what should they come for hospital? Do you go to God like that? I am willing to obey whatever you tell me. Like Samuel. What? Speak, Lord, I am listening. Speak, Lord, I am. Are you willing for that? So we'll take a tea break now. More will be added later. We'll look at it. Can you silently pray for these 4 words in your mind before we break?